Hey everyone, we're going to do 3 questions from FromZero.com. Let's jump right into it. The first question is, the lesson says wo. Is o? Is that correct? In the book it says o. Which is it is the question. Which is it? Well, let's just look at it for a second. So if I type in just o, that's what I get. The way that you get the particle is wo. That's how you get that. And what's happening is our website has data that looks more like this. So for example, take this word right here, gantan. This data on our website would look like this, behind the scenes, okay? And what it does then is it takes that and it makes the romaji based on this, or it takes the progressive and it makes it based on that. So what's happening is we have some sort of sentence with wo in it, right? O in it, and it's just converting it to wo. I have a note to the developers to make it this. So it's gonna become that because I don't want people to read it as wo. It's not read as wo. So it's not pen wo kudasai, it's pen o kudasai, it's o. You'll see it even in the word otaku. Like there's this version of otaku, right? But for sometimes you'll see this on the internet where it's like this and it'll be in katakana using the katakana version of wo or o. So yeah, it's supposed to be an o. So sorry about that. All right, next question. Is there a difference between gantan and ganjitsu? Yes, there is. Now, they both translate to New Year's Day, but really gantan is more about the morning, right? And the difference here is really easy to see. Here we have in ganjitsu, it's like the original day, original sun. And that means New Year's Day, the origin sun, right? And here we have the sun, but it's over this line. That's the sun coming up over the horizon. So that's what it means. When you say gantan, you really mean the morning of New Year's Day, but it also can be just mean New Year's Day. But if you're going to ask me what the difference is, gantan is morning, New Year's Day morning, and ganjitsu is the day. All right, final question, a little bit longer one. From Jarokingu, I'm currently on Japanese from Zero Course 4 and I've completed Kanji from Zero Book 1. Part of my Japanese practice, I have been chatting to people online, mainly from Osaka, which you'll find is a very different way of speaking. I highly recommend that you watch the Kansai Dialect from Zero video series that's now available for all paying members on the From Zero website. You can get that for free. It's video only, but you've been studying mainly online with people from Osaka playing video games, mainly the Yakuza series by Sega. I would say that now I've started to develop my way of using Japanese. I often end things with na, such as arigatou na, sugoi na, mata na, yoroshiku na. For me, na has become very natural, but I'm now wondering how this comes across as I don't want to sound cartoony or too much like a gangster. I know most people use ne, but I feel it might be more girly. I use ne more when I want listeners' thoughts on something like kyou no tenki wa ii ne, as in the weather is nice today, isn't it? As a way of kind of adding right to encourage agreement. I think na would work in that sentence too. I have noticed recently that I often type things with ne, but in reality, when I speak out loud, na feels more natural. Greatly appreciate your thoughts on this. Thank you always. I'm going to give you my stream of consciousness thought on this. Number 1, everything that you listed here with na, with the exception of maybe the sugoi na, sounds rough. Arigato na. Thanks, man. Mata na. See you again, dude. Yoroshiku na. Is that your character? Like, if you're that kind of a person, where everything you say is rough, then that's fine. I wouldn't do it. I don't do it. I wouldn't even say arigatou ne. I might. Thanks. Appreciate it. Arigatou ne. Sugoi ne. I might say that. Sugoi ne. Now, I might say sugoi na and lengthen it. Sugoi na. But more of like a thought to myself. Wow. That's like, wow. Because generally na and ne are considered similar things. Except for when you say ii na, like that, ii na, that's showing a sort of envy for something. Oh, ii na. Oh, man, that's awesome. Oh, tabetai na. Oh, man, I really want to eat. It's showing a desire for something, okay? Ne doesn't do that. That's where they really separate here. Now, while we're talking about na, it is used in strong negatives. So, for example, you could say, ikanaide, don't go. You could say, ikanaide kudasai, very polite, please don't go. Ikanaide, not as polite, don't go. Ikuna, don't go. Ikuna, super strong. Don't eat it. Taberu na. Na by itself is a little bit more rough sounding. And back in the day, you might say, oh, na is used for guys and ne is used for girls. It's really not the case nowadays. It's very much mixed. I think that na might be coming off natural to you because if you're playing a lot of Osaka generally, Kansai people, I would say, generally feel a little bit more American style in their speaking because Kansai dialect's pretty like free flow. They don't have like levels like we do really as much as the Japanese Hyojungo, the standard Japanese side. That's my opinion, of course. I always felt like Kansai people feel very American in terms of like they speak pretty open and freely. So they might be using that na a lot more. But if you're playing Yakuza games, arigatou na, mata na, yoroshiku na. I wouldn't say that to people. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Say yoroshiku onegaishimasu. I'd say arigatou gozaimashita. Even to friends, I still would say arigatou gozaimashita. If I'm doing a casual arigatou, it'd probably be like, arigatou ne. Hey, thanks. Even that's a little bit, it's like, oh, they did a little thing for you. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks. As for, let's talk about your usage of ne. Kyou no tenki wa ii ne. I think I made a mistake in the way that I teach ne in the books, because we do explain that ne is used as, it's like adding right to there, but it really isn't. It most of the time is, I think the weather is great. It's obviously great. So you probably agree with me. Kyou no tenki wa ii ne. It's pretty good, yeah? Like if I say to you, the weather's pretty good, yeah? I'm not actually wanting a response from you. I'm not trying to get you to agree. I just assume you agree, and of course you're going to agree. So I use ne. When ne is used in a way to get response, it's dayo ne. Inu dayo ne. It's a dog, right? Inu desho? It's a dog, right? Inu dayo ne. Are? Kyou wa getsuyoubi dayo ne. Let's make it more polite. Kyou wa getsuyoubi desu yo ne. It's yone that tends to be that right thing. That's where you're really asking for people to give you like a response. So, 今日は月曜日ですよね. Oh, yeah, I thought it was Friday. So I would say, hey, it's good that you're exploring, so don't feel bad. I don't think you're actually making mistakes, but just know that even though you're a foreigner, that does come off as not cartoony. It comes off as a little bit rough. I remember I met a guy from Mexico. Eventually, I hired him at one point, and I've known him forever. You know, his name is Adan. But Adan had been watching the George and Keiko show back in the day, and we taught some rough Japanese as like for fun, you know. And then when he met me, he was using it, and I know that I taught it to him, but I was still offended. I was like, this guy's really gonna talk to me like this, and I'm a foreigner, like I'm a gaijin. I should be okay with Japanese being that way, but I felt like he wasn't giving me like the respect that I desired. So you might find that if you're using these overly rough feeling things, arigatou na, even if you say it softly, arigatou na, it's a little bit awkward. Unless everyone in Kansai is doing it, unless all your friends are doing it, I would probably say, you already said in here that it seems like most people say one way. That's because probably it's better that way. If you're not saying Japanese in the way that most people are saying it, you're probably the one that's weird, okay? Like this is just like a life thing before we end. I think it was George Carlin or one of those really great comedians that said something like, if you meet a jerk every now and then, that's probably pretty standard. But if everyone you meet is a jerk, you're probably the problem. You're probably the jerk. If someone could tell me the actual person who said that, I'd appreciate it. So if you're the only one using this na all the time and no one else is, you're standing out, which is not really inducive to what Japanese culture is, right? All that doesn't mean you don't have to stand out. I stand out, trust me, a lot just by being a foreigner. And I do things purposely to go against the grain. And maybe if that's something you want to do, that's fine. Like I purposely will say the opposite of the expected thing. For example, if you're with somebody, you're walking with somebody and they say, oh, is it okay if I go to the bathroom? You say, oh yeah, sure. And they go to the bathroom, right? And you're waiting for them and they come out. A typical Japanese thing that they say is, omatase shimashita. Omatase shimashita. Remember that, it's a great phrase. It means I've made you wait. And it's a very, very polite thing to say. But what I say is, omatase saremashita. Or I'm sorry, I say, matasa, what do I don't remember, I gotta be in the moment. Matasareta. Matasareta. I say, matasareta, or something like that. You've made me wait. I think Yukari. Matase saremashita te okashii yo ne. By the way, you see I said ne right now? Okashii yo na. All right. Matasareta da yo ne. Matasareta, yeah, okay. Matasareta, okay. So, excuse me, a little bit of me double checking. Sometimes when you're out of the context of the thing, it doesn't work. Like that felt like it was right at the very moment that I said it, but then right after that, I was like, it doesn't feel right. Matasareta, which means you've made me wait, which always gets a good reaction if you do it right, because it's so unexpected. Or sometimes when Japanese people apologize, like, sumimasen ne, shitsurei shimashita, sorry. Like it's a way of saying sorry, but like even in a casual way, they might say, oh yeah, sorry about that. And I go, yeah, you should feel sorry. そうだよ. 失礼だよ、本当に. It's just funny among friends because normally when they say A, you're supposed to say B, but I like to say C and in the unexpected. I think that's the comedic part of it if that's what you're trying to do. So if you say arigatou na, I think it's perfectly fine, honestly, if you have friends that are okay with it. And I certainly do Yakuza voice when I feel like I want to arigatou da. That's it, guys. Thanks. If you have questions, submit them to fromzero.com and Kanako or I will answer them. See you all next time.